Hello, welcome to my channel, and in this video we'll understand how to use serial port in Python with the help of this tiny USB to TTL board. Now what we are going to do is we are going to transmit something from our Python code, and as we are going to short this RX and TX pin, so whatever we transmit we are going to get reverse the transmitted data, and we are going to capture that in our Python code, right? So let's understand how to do this. So first of all, I need to short this RX and TX pin. So I have shorted this RX and TX pin, and first we'll understand how to check this whether this is working or not. I have a special video for this to how to start using this. Link is in the description box. You can check that out as well. So in here, I'll first connect it to my extended cable. So here I connect my this tiny board. And let's see if what COM port does this gives me. So for that we need device manager. Okay, for in device manager we'll go, let's let this open up. So here I have this COM port, right, and the number is comp1. So in this way I know that if I connect this, let's say if it refreshes, yes, so serial port went away. Yeah, so we have again COM port 1. So COM port 1 is my COM port number. So I must be using this comp 1. So I'll keep this connected, and let's start with our program. Here the use of this is complete. So let me close this, and let's start using our PyCharm. So PyCharm, let this open up. Let's create our new project, and here we have this new project button, new project, and let's give it a path. Here I have this option. No, I don't want to use here. Let's give Python serial port. Serial port test. So I'm going to give this name. I've created a new project, new folder here. Let's select that folder. Perfect. So I have my interpreter selected, which is at different location. Awesome. So let's create our project. Okay, so our project is created and main.py is generated, and anyway I'm not going to use this anything here, so I'm going to delete this. And while handling serial port, you need to have a few attributes to be set in serial port within the Python, and those attributes are these five. Okay, that is port, byte size, baud rate, byte size, timeout, and stop bit. And where we are going to set this attribute in a serial port library. Okay, so do we have serial port library installed? Let's check that out. So here we have this option called terminal. And in terminal, let this open up. Okay, let this open up, and let's see, do we have a peep list? Do we have serial port installed? No, we don't have serial port installed, so we need to install it first. So how can we install this? Let's type this command peep install py serial. Perfect. So we have successfully installed our py serial library, and we can start using this this library. So what we can do, very first is to import that library. Okay, import serial. And now we can start creating our serial port object. So serial port object is going to get created and within this variable called ser. So serial dot serial. This is this is a method which is going to create you the serial port. And as I said, we need these five attributes to be set. So the first attribute is port. Okay, port, and here we need to mention our COM ports, right? Com1. So com1 was our com port that we have tested, and then baud rate. Baud rate, we are going to set this as 9600. You can keep anything likewise. Then byte size. What is going to be our byte size? Byte size is going to be 8 bits. Okay. Next is timeout. We need to mention timeout to come out of the read loop, because many times it happens if the data doesn't come on the serial port, how long does a serial port should wait to read that data? And that's nothing but the timeout value, that is 2 seconds. It is going to wait for 2 seconds. Next is stop bit. We need to mention our stop bit, and stop bit value is also provided by this library. Okay, the stop bit is going to be a 1, right? So first thing we need to do is let's create a loop. While now we are going to create, right, infinite loop, but we need to make sure that we should come out of this loop as well. And to come out of this loop, we are going to use keyboard key press as a notification for our program to come out of that loop. Okay, and for that we must be using keyboard library. But do we have keyboard library installed? No, we don't have, because otherwise it could have directly shown us the value. So for that we need to install that as well. So here I come and I'm going to install, I need to go onto terminal. Let's go on to terminal, and on terminal I'm going to pip install keyboard. So we'll install, okay, pip install keyboard. Let's install our keyboard as well, keyboard library. We are going to need that, right? Perfect. So keyboard library is installed, so I am good to use that library. And how I'm going to do is, if keyboard, if keyboard is pressed, so here I have this method, and in this method I'm going to check whether Q as a key is pressed or not. Okay, let's give some message to user. Okay, print some message. So user needs to quit the application. Okay, we can say like this. So user need to come out of this loop. So how to come out of this loop is by breaking this loop. Break. Perfect. So this way we have already taken care how to come out of this infinite loop. Perfect. Now very first thing that we need to do is we need to close the serial object, because what will happen is if we keep this open, and if we come back here and we want to use this program again, and if it doesn't find the resource, which means it is not in the previous session it wasn't closed properly. So it is always good practice to close any resources that you are using. So here we have created our serial port, and here I'm going to release that serial port. Perfect. So in here we can start using our serial port. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to write something on serial port, and as our RxTX pins are shorted, let's see if it comes back. Perfect. So here I am going to write something on serial port. Serial dot write is the function, and write is the function, and within write I'm going to press this A. Now A is a string value. That's what the notation is in the Python, but serial port expect it to be a byte by byte value. So to do that we have to encode that value. So encode as you can keep this as encode empty, or otherwise normal practice is this ASCII. To mention it is an ASCII. Now what we are going to do is as I'm going to transmit this and RxTX pins are shorted, so this A is going to get reversed, so I need to read that value. So I'm going to receive that value in this function, in this variable with this function, that is read. So whatever A as a character is going to get transmitted, it gets received as well. And this read function is the function which is going to read only one character at a time. Okay, this is not going to read complete line. So we have read line function to read complete line. Perfect. So what we can do is, now what happened, now let's print that as well first. Now in print, what we can print is this receive value, right? Receive value, but receive is in the encoded format of the ASCII, so we need to decode it to display it on Python console. And how to decode it? Again, decode function with same ASCII value. Perfect. So with this we have transmitted one value, and we are going to get that receive that value, and we have displayed that value. Now this is going to happen infinite time, right? But it will happen very, very fast, so we need to give some delay as well. Okay, time.sleep, we have this function. Okay, so within that function we need to mention how much delay do we want, but we also need to import time library. Okay, perfect. So we have this time already imported, so time.sleep. With this, what is happening, at every second it's going to transmit that value, will receive that value, and as we keep on pressing Q, whenever this function executes, if it checks Q is pressed, it is going to come out of that loop. So let's check this out, and shortcut is Shift F10. Perfect. So we have transmitted as a value, and I've received that a value. Perfect. And it is going to display. And here we have this 1 second delay. So you can see that with 1 second it is executing. So we need to come out of this loop. So I'm going to press this Q button now, and we need to keep pressing that Q button, right? So keep pressing that Q button until this function executes. So yeah, so we press this Q, user needs to quit this application. So it has come out of this loop. Perfect. So we have successfully tested our one character at a time, right? So now let's see how can we read complete line. So let's put some message over here. This is the this is the message. Now what we'll do, we have written complete message, but I'm going to read only one value. Let's see how this is functioning. Now let's Shift F10. Now what happened, right? It is receiving 1 byte at a time. It is receiving 1 byte at a time. Perfect. So to read complete line, we have this function called line. Okay, read line. So let's keep this as it is here. Let's comment it out. And now it is going to read complete line, right? It has read complete line. This is the message. But what is happening, that it is waiting for 1 second, and then again it transmits the data, but it is again going to wait for another 2 seconds. Why? Because we have mentioned our timeout to be 2 seconds here. But what happened, because this read function actually expects, there is some extra character as carrier return and line feed values. So carrier return and line feed values can be written as Control+R Control/N, right? This is line feed and this is carrier return and line feed. So with this, if let's check this out, you can see the difference. I'm going to comment this out, and I am not going to give any carrier return line feed. Let's comment this out as well, so that we could notice that though we have not given any delay, even then there is a delay. Okay, and that delay is nothing but timeout delay. So let's run this out. Okay, stop that and run. Perfect. So here we have transmitted the data. It is waiting for line to complete. And how does it know line is completed? With these two characters. But there is no two characters over here, which means it need to time out and then come out of that read function. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to give a read line and a carrier return and new line message, and then we need to give this as well, right? Let's quit out of this. Okay, user pressed quit. So let's run this, shift F10. Now you would notice that it is repeating every 1 second, because carrier return line feed is successfully read over here, so it is not going to wait for a timeout. Okay, it is not going to wait for a timeout. Perfect. Awesome. So with this, we have successfully tested our serial port with Python with the help of this USB to TTL board. Perfect. That is it in this video. You have link in the description box to download this code, and type in the comment box what did you learn out of this and what did you feel about this video. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.